Yo, what is up, YouTube? It's your boy Jake. We back. We talking some football, and I just want to apologize. I've been away from the mic for a little bit. Um, College started for me. I'm almost at the halfway point for my semester, and it's just been a grueling, grinding semester. So that's why the videos haven't been up as frequently as I'd like. I'm gonna try and get better at that. One of my classes just ended, so expect more videos from here on out. And if you want to see more of me, hear more of me, hit that subscribe button. That would mean the world to me. And the more people that I have subscribed to me, the more likely I will continue to make more videos. So just stick with me. It's been a little tough lately, just with all the busyness I've been having to deal with, but I'm gonna try and make you guys more of a priority. And let's just get right into it right now. Talking football. First segment of Around the League. All right. This is a segment where I just talk about what's going on around the league. Pretty self-explanatory. So big news today. Actually, the biggest news of the offseason, in my opinion, is the Seahawks. Some stuff coming out. Michael Bennett was just traded to the Eagles. Yes, the Philadelphia Eagles get Michael Bennett. The rich get richer. The number one team in the league gets better. How does that happen? All right, I'll tell you how it happens. Seahawks have figured out that their defense is getting old and getting tired, getting injured, and it's time to start building around Russell Wilson. And in order for them to do that, they got to get rid of some vintage old classic players. They got to get rid of Michael Bennett. Uh, I'm expecting other players to get traded or cut within the next couple of months too, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Uh, so yeah, Michael Bennett gets traded. I give the Seahawks a C for this grade, the trade grade. I didn't really like what they got for him. I felt like they could have definitely gotten something else, especially because, from what I know, they have been communicating with other teams, and teams have shown a pretty big interest in Michael Bennett. But I don't know what those teams offered him, to be honest. So if this was the best thing that they could get, then I guess they would have to pull the trigger. And for the Eagles, this is an A. This is an easy A grade. You're giving up a wide receiver that no one even knows about. I'm sure that the Eagles fans out there didn't even know this guy existed. And a fifth round pick for a guy that can really be an impact edge rusher on your team. He gives you depth. He gives you leadership. He gives you veteranship. Like, yeah, he has off the field issues, and I realize that he can be a locker room nuisance sometimes. But strictly play style, he is still an impactful edge rusher and a guy that can really mentor guys like even guys like Fletcher Cox, who I know have been in the league for a while. I'm sure that Michael Bennett can show him something, and I'm sure that he can definitely show uh, some of the younger guys like Derek Barnett something too. So I don't know. This was an A grade for me. I think that the Eagles knocked this out of the park, as they always have in the last couple of years with trades and signings of this sort. So A grade for the Seahawks. Good job, Seahawks. Or no, excuse me. Good job, Eagles. A grade for the Eagles, not the Seahawks. Good job, Eagles. Rich get richer, and you're gunning for that Super Bowl again, and I wouldn't blame you. Keeping on the subject of the Seahawks, Richard Sherman just announced that he probably will not be back with the Seahawks next year, which is very sad for me. I'm not a Seahawks fan in the slightest, but the Legion of Boom was one of my favorite. In fact, it's probably been my favorite defense that I've seen in my lifetime. Right? For those of you who don't know, I'm a college kid. I'm 20 years old. Uh, the Legion of Boom is by far the most exciting offense that I have grown up with. Right? Uh, I wasn't really paying attention to the league back in 2001 when the Ravens were just destroying everyone. The Steelers dominant teams of the early 2000s and even into like the late 2010 era. I didn't really like them. I don't know why, but I loved the Legion of Boom, the impact, the culture they had, the characters, man. Cam Chancellor was my favorite defensive back when he was just laying wood on everyone. I I just fell in love with those guys, and even though I didn't like the Seahawks, I love the Legion of Boom, and I respected the hell out of those guys. Um, but yeah, it looks like that this era is over, right? And it's something that has to happen just because the Seahawks realize that they're gonna move on to Russell Wilson, but you know doesn't mean it doesn't have to be a sad departure, right? So Sherman's expected to be gone, traded, or cut within the next couple of weeks, and there's speculation on where he's going to go. I honestly don't know where he's going to go. I've heard reports about the Raiders, the Patriots, even like the Niners. I don't know if that would be even possible if the Seahawks would trade to a division rival, but we'll see, I guess. So Legion Boom's ended. We'll move on to our next segment. It's going to be the Combine, right? The Combine happened. Yeah, that thing every year. The thing that, in my opinion, doesn't really matter, but still fun to watch, right? And the Combine does matter a little bit, but not. It's not this big event that everyone should be paying attention to and like, oh my god, if he doesn't run a 4.45, then he's going to be a bust and he shouldn't be taken in the first round. Like, no, you shouldn't measure guys off of that. In my opinion, it's a tape game. The play on the field matters more than the play in shorts and a t-shirt, right? I played football for a portion of my life, and I know that people on the field are different animals than people in shorts and a t-shirt. I know I was, so it doesn't really matter to me, but it's still amazing to watch some of the athletic ability of these men. Like Saquon Barkley. Holy cow. Holy shit. You talk about a freak, you talk about an athlete, you talk about a guy who could probably dominate in any sport that he tried. That's a dude that could dominate any sport that he tried. So a bunch of guys' stock increased. And with the Combine comes mock drafts, of course. Of course, all these so-called experts and amateurs like myself are going to be releasing mock drafts that are going to be none of them are going to be right. So, by the way, I'll release my mock draft in a couple days, but doesn't really have any you can't possibly say that this team will draft someone this early in the process, right? Especially because we don't even know where Kirk Cousins is going to go. We don't know all these different factors. Teams could love someone or hate someone. It doesn't really matter. So I don't know. It's too early to be calling mock drafts in this point in the time, but we'll see what happens. Moving on to the next thing is free agency and franchise tags. Free agency for me starts March 12th. I know the actual day that the NFL has is March 14th, but legal tampering begins March 12th. So that's when it's perfectly okay for teams to just call up whoever they want that's free agent and negotiate a contract. Which, in my opinion, it already happens. Like, I feel like teams already communicate with players even during the season about contracts expiring and, do you want to come here? Like, we can hook you up with this and this and this. Like, teams already do that all the time. So I don't know why they have a legal tampering date. It doesn't really make any sense to me, but that's when, in my opinion, you're going to see all these reports about when just where players will go and how much they'll be paid, and it just happens every year where you'll just see all these numbers pop up and where players are supposedly going to go. They've agreed to it in words. They haven't really signed anything yet, so that's a date to look out for because you're going to see a lot of changes in the league. And I think there's going to be a few trades that happen on that day too. I think that Jarvis Landry will ultimately be traded in the next couple months. I think that there's going to be a couple guys that are going to be on the block. Sherman might be traded in the next couple months. Sherman definitely is going to be traded in the next couple months, just depending on where. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for me. Again, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please give me a like and subscribe to my channel. It'd be amazing for you to do that. So, peace.